Alexander Isak, top 3 strikers in the Premier League, top 5 in the world. You can't argue against that. If you were to build the perfect forward player, he would be the exact result because he has absolutely everything. At this rate, this guy might end up like, you know what? Come along as we talk about the scary truth about Alexander Isak that nobody is. Isak was born in Stockholm, Sweden, to Eritrean parents, and he started his career at a local club named AIK at the tender age of 6. He was there for years, growing and developing into the youth ranks, and he eventually made his first team debut at the age of 16. He would go on to score in the league, which made him the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Swedish league. The club saw this and immediately offered him a professional contract, and he started to be more involved in the first team dynamics. Isak was only 17 years old when he started to get compared to the great Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Fans and teammates were already calling him the new Zlatan. Obviously, these are two tall and technical strikers, but that comparison really only came up because they share the same nationality. Because in reality, Isak is less like Zlatan and more a different football great. We'll get to that soon. Real Madrid reportedly wanted to sign him, but he turned them down. Then Borussia Dortmund, who'd always been known for nurturing young talent, came in and paid a reported €9 million for him and brought him over to Germany in 2017. That was the highest amount that had ever been paid for a player from the Swedish league at the time. He was just 17. Crazy. Anyway, things didn't exactly go as Isak hoped they would at Dortmund. He didn't make a single appearance in the league throughout the 2018-19 season. So he was loaned out to Willem II in January 2019 and he hit the ground running in the Netherlands. In February, he scored in the semi-final of the KNVB Cup and helped them reach the final for the first time in 14 years. The following month, he became the first player in Eredivisie history to score a hat-trick of penalties. And the month after, he became the first non-Dutch player to score 12 goals in his first 12 Eredivisie appearances. That short loan spell earned him a move to Spain that summer, with Real Sociedad grabbing the 19-year-old on a 5-year deal. In his first season in La Liga, Isak started only 14 games, but he finished with 10 goal contributions. In the Copa del Rey, he produced 9 goal contributions in 6 starts and helped Sociedad win the trophy. It was certainly a brilliant debut season for him in a new country. Despite being so young, he was already proving to be a proper big game player. In his first season in Spain, he scored the winner and provided an assist in the Basque derby against Athletic, scored against Barcelona in La Liga, and scored a brace and provided an assist against Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. But he got even better the following season. Between January and February 2021, he went on an insane run where he scored 9 goals in 6 games. He ended that season with 17 goals and 2 assists in La Liga. After another good season in Spain, Newcastle decided it was time, so they broke the bank and brought him over to the Premier League for a club record £63 million in 2022. And guess how he announced himself to the country? By scoring a brilliant goal on his debut against Liverpool. He scored 2 in his first 3 Premier League games, but then he suffered a thigh injury which kept him out until the new year. On his first game back, he came off the bench to score the winning goal against Fulham. That season, because of injury, Isak started only 17 Premier League games, but he finished with 10 goals and 2 assists in the league, helping the Magpies qualify for the Champions League for the first time in over 2 decades. Now, all this was good, but there was one game that really stood out. The game against Everton, where he picked up the ball from the halfway line, drove up the field and danced through the Everton defence, dribbling past 3 players rather majestically and setting up Jacob Murphy for a goal. That sequence was so magical, and it was then that many started to notice the scary truth about Isak. We might really be watching the actual Thierry Henry regen. Tall, technical, brilliant, can run, dribble, pass, read the game intelligently, can play on the wings or down the middle, scores for fun and wears the number 14 shirt for a Premier League club. That really was Thierry Henry reincarnated. Fans, pundits and even the Newcastle manager Eddie Howe were all talking about the uncanny similarities between Isak and Henry.
2 players that are the same, but I do think he has some of the characteristics that Thierry had. Certainly got the speed and a similar build and frame.
But his goal scoring was not quite there yet, some said. He needed to be fighting for the Golden Boot to get Henry comparisons, they said. So Isak laced up and went into the 23-24 season super hungry. He scored goals, really big ones. 2 against Aston Villa, 2 against Chelsea, 2 against Spurs, 2 against Man City, 1 against Liverpool, and 1 against PSG in the Champions League. In the end, he had 21 Premier League goals and was behind only Erling Haaland and Cole Palmer in the race for the Golden Boot, despite missing 8 games that season. He also broke Zlatan's record for most goals by a Swede in a single Premier League campaign. At this point, he was heavily linked with a move to Arsenal. It felt like it was written in the stars. The club where Henry established himself should also be the club where his regen goes to. There were way too many similarities and it seemed like a no-brainer, but that move didn't happen that summer. But that didn't change anything for Isak. He just kept doing his thing. He started the 24-25 season just as strongly as he finished the 23-24 season. He has kept scoring and showing up in big games. He scored twice against Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal, scored against United and Aston Villa, and scored an absolute banger from outside the box against Liverpool. He also scored a hat-trick against Ipswich, making him the first Swede to score a Premier League treble in 21 years. The first of those goals came less than 26 seconds after kickoff, making it the fastest goal ever scored by a Newcastle player in the history of the Premier League. All of this earned him the Premier League Player of the Month award for December 2024. His goal against Spurs on the 4th of January meant that he had now scored in 8 consecutive Premier League games. If he does this for 4 more games, he'd have the Premier League record all to himself. He's also fully in the running for the Premier League Golden Boot, behind only Salah and Haaland. So he could very well end this season with a personal award and a team trophy. Looking at the season he's having, it's not surprising that those links have come up again. Arsenal fans seem to be putting pressure on their club to sign the Swedish striker at whatever cost. They believe he's exactly what they need to get over the line and finally win the Premier League for the first time since Thierry Henry helped them win it in 2004. But they're not alone in this. Another one of Henry's former clubs, FC Barcelona, also seems very interested. Barcelona is a club known to have technically gifted strikers, so Isak fits right into the fold. And a large part of the fan base seems to really want him in Catalonia. But guys, where do you think that Isak will end up this summer, and how much do you think he'll go for? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so that you never miss out on amazing content like this. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.